my friend. Welcome to the abode of knowledge. अच्छा एक मिनट हमको भाषण देने दो. I said abode of knowledge. Abode of meaning abode, ABODE, abode of knowledge. मतलब न्यूज़पेपर को हमने ठीक है abode of knowledge कहा. What is abode? घर. और ये नॉलेज जैसे हिमालय स्कूल में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा होगा. आई थिंक कि अगर उस दिन स्कूल गए होगे तो ठीक है. एक बार बोल रहे थे पहले. हिमालयास को एबोर्ड ऑफ स्नो कहा जाता है. हिमालयास को एबोर्ड ऑफ स्नो. ठीक है. तो न्यूज़पेपर हैपेंस टू बी एबोर्ड ऑफ नॉलेज. क्लियर? फाइन. कम माय फ्रेंड. हेडलाइंस 4 पेजेस. गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन.
My name is Raj Singhania. Jubair walks out.
जुबेर नहीं जेड है. जुबेर.
Jubair walks out of jail as stands in interim bail in all firms. Interim bail in all firms. Two Moswala kills shot death in Punjab encounter. SC states firm against 30 army men over 13 deaths in Nagaland OP.
My friend. You missed this budget. ऐसे कहाँ पे लगाओ? ऐसे हाँ. ओके. कैप जरूरी है या कैप उतार सकते हैं हम लोग? कैप उतार सकते हैं. हाँ ठीक है. क्योंकि कैप से चेहरा नहीं आ रहा ना. ठीक.
Pune grandma pays emotional visit to Pindi homes. Pindi homes 35 years later. HE6 feasibility reports on feasibility reports on airport. Men's masquerading as senior police officer arrested in city.
Wait. कैसा होता है?
Traders and shopkeepers still use.
अच्छा, there is one word. Write this word feasibility. FEASIBILITY. This happens to be very important word. हाँ. Feasibility. ठीक. पढ़िए आगे.
Traders and shopkeepers still use single-use plastic.
That is, the headline is High Court seeks feasibility report. ठीक है? On international airport. ठीक है. तो feasibility का मतलब क्या होगा? Feasibility का मतलब High Court demands, seeks feasibility report on international airport. Feasibility report.
Yes, sir, feasibility report.
हाँ. Feasibility report on international airport. तो feasibility report का मतलब ये होगा ना कि इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट जो आप बनाने जा रहे हैं वो कैसे बनेगा का रिपोर्ट. तो मतलब होने योग्य.
Exactly.
होने योग्य या उसको कैसे आप बनाएंगे, that is feasibility. तो आप लोग इनसे नहीं वर्ड बहुत आएगा. आफ्टर इन जॉब जो भी काम करने जाएंगे तो गिव मी द फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट. आप इस मार्कर को करने जा रहे हैं. राइट. बजट दिया जाएगा ऐसा. फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट मांगा जाएगा. क्लियर हुआ? फाइन. चलिए.
Central draws flags over GST on packaged food production. Nada to open. Nadda.
JP Nadda.
Nadda to open 3-day BJP marches meet on 13 July. Sani and 6 others MLAs retired today. MLCs retired today. JDU questions government defense on Agniveer's cast. well performed.
अच्छा. Education department.
Education departments most workshop to better
Functioning.
functioning of university in Bihar. Mitigates the suffering of people struck by the
Disasters.
disaster. Financial education is key for a happy and secure life.
Financial education. ठीक है.
Center frets as states borrow loans against future revenue.
This one.
Government not avoiding GST debits
Opposition.
committee to
Competing.
to disrupt House Goyal. Most unparliamentary government say Kongs.
Unparliamentary.
Upper Veda all sets to
Unparliamentary means illegal. Unconstitutional, unparliamentary, illegal. ठीक है. असंवैधानिक.
Upper Veda all set to celebrate making of
Presidential history.
history.
Supreme
Supreme Court paves way to OBC quota is Maha local body election.
ठीक. Thank you. Next. चलो. This one. Financial education is key for a happy and secure life.
पूरा सर.
ठीक है. एक मिनट भाई, इसमें बीच में जाओ. इससे एडजस्ट करो अपने.
Yes, sir.
Fine. चलो.
Financial education is key for happy and secure life. One of the multiple objectives of modern formal education is to ensure financial security for life ahead while students learn some of the necessary skills help generate income post completion of a school college education. The other aspects of personal finance almost remain outside the realm of the school curriculum and are often ignored. One such component is financial literacy among children, which enables them to make efficient decisions about managing their finances. In many cases, using credits, cards, or loans starts as early as undergraduate education. However, unfortunately, most young adults who move out of school remain unaware of the basic nuances of budgeting, debt, saving, and investment in personal life. Even though money has become an integral part of human life, managing it at a personal level remains challenging. The evolving technologies have led to the development of many new financial products related to income, saving, borrowing, and spending, which has further complicated the issues related to personal finances that impact personal life. The expenditure and saving habits are sometimes formed at the early stages of a school education with the help of pocket money or even with the use of piggy banks. The related easy for children to relate the financial behavior of people in their surrounding. Uncontrolled expenses, lack of saving, avoidable debates can lead to hardship in one's life. Therefore, it is essential to help them structured training to enhance financial literacy and also save many from
Differentiate
engaging.
needs and wants. Marketing.
from engaging in undesirable economic activity to make easy money. Therefore, proper knowledge about the matters related to personal finances is crucial for a happy, healthy, and secure life. Uncontrolled expenses, lack of saving, or avoidable debts can lead
अवॉइडेबल डेट्स
avoidable debts.
मतलब
Avoidable, which cannot be avoided.
वो अनअवॉइडेबल है,
Unavoidable.
अनअवॉइडेबल। अवॉइडेबल जो अवॉइड किया जा सके, तो अवॉइडेबल डेट्स जो कर्जा, ठीक है, तो यू ऑल पीपल एंड फ्लिपकार्ट एंड पे लेटर, तो हर चीज को खरीदना जरूरी है।
No, sir.
बहुत सारी गैर जरूरी चीज को हम खरीद लेते हैं क्योंकि इम्पल्स बढ़ता है ना, फ्लिपकार्ट एंड ऑल मार्केटिंग जो क्या इम्पल्स बढ़ता है, ठीक है, उससे थोड़ा अवॉइड करें तो पैसा बचेगा। क्लियर है? फाइन।
Can
फिजिबिलिटी,
Yes, current which can be acceptable and reasonable.
हाँ ठीक,
can lead to hardship in one's life, while some of the financial obligation backed by collateral and that help increase expected income are good. Others, like unplanned use of credit cards or buy now pay later schemes, are not prioritizing of financial resources
I write
and
this word optimal and the next word utilization.
consumption.
Optimal utilization is economies of scale.
Yes, sir.
होगा, समझ में आया नहीं?
Yes, sir.
People at the back. Okay, just write optimal utilization. Optimal utilization, directly proportional economies of scale. ठीक है? हाँ। ठीक है। क्या बताओ? उसका तुम्हारा नंबर क्या है? Okay, proceed.
And consumptions, a smoothing in line with the expected income in is an essential component of sustainable financial management at the personal level. Similarly, saving has long-term benefits if started at the initial stages. Understanding the core.
एक मिनट, write another word sustainability, feasibility, another word sustainability, sustain, SUSTIN, sustainability, ability, sustain plus ability,
सर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट भी तो एक
हाँ उसी से है, उसको बात करते हैं हम लोग।
Understanding the cost of interest payments in borrowing and the advantages of interest earning from investment are critical. In addition, the ability
क्रिटिकल के बाद फुल स्टॉप है।
critical.
हाँ,
In addition, the ability to differentiate between the investment in risky and non-risky assets is essential. Also, a sense of awareness and responsibility comes with understanding the budgeting of personal finances. Given the low level of financial literacy in society, only a few students have an opportunity to learn at home from their parents. Also, despite the widespread digital penetration, the unstructured flow of information makes it difficult for them to self learn. Furthermore, the increased interest use has increased the danger of engaging young students in undesired activities like betting or online gaming, which often results in many psychological difficulties and financial loss.
हाँ, ये वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
In the
एक मिनट, ये तो फाइनेंशियल लॉस कैसे हो रहा है आप लोग का? अवॉइडेबल, ये तुम्हारा डेट कैसे हो जा रहा है? कर्जा कैसे बढ़ रहा है? तुम लोग का गेमिंग वो सब कर रहे हो और उसमें क्रेडिट कार्ड डेबिट कार्ड मम्मी पापा का यूज़ हो रहा है और उसका वो पूरा पैसा स्वाइप हो जा रहा है, नहीं? हाँ, सच है ना? तो अब ज़रा गेमिंग से बाहर निकल सकते हैं हम लोग, बात समझ आ रहा है? हाँ,
In the absence of formal financial education at the schools, one usually relies on secondary sources like advertisement or suggestions from others for helpful information for decisions related to personal finance. However, most of the time, these sources provide information about sales of a financial product, which might not always help in taking the right financial decisions. Therefore, formal personal finance education should get a head start at least at the secondary school level. Understanding the fundamentals of money related matters could easily be clubbed with the coursework and other activities in the school. For example, the effect of compounding on saving and borrowing can be taught during the sessions of mathematics classes in a school. In addition, the introduction to real world experiences could be given to children in schools so that they are ready to manage their finances when they grow. It is also essential that these teaching are provided in a language that is easy to understand for the students. The
ठीक
au-
है, चलो थैंक यू।
say clubbed.
हाँ, क्लब मतलब सबको इकट्ठा करना, ठीक है। All the courses have been clubbed, all the subjects have been clubbed in
Yes,
this
sir.
course. Several subjects has been clubbed
In
in
this
this
course.
course.
Yes, sir.
Next, next, उधर हाँ, anyone come please. चलो, take the mic. Most unparliamentary government says Congress.
Most unparliamentary government say Congress. New Delhi as protest against price hikes and hike in GST on food items continue to disturb Parliament. Congress Wednesday accused the government of showing obstinacy in not accepting the position's demand for a discussions of the issue, on the issue. Leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, Malik Arjun Kharge, said the government must suspend all business and accept discussions. The most unparliamentary government in India history is not allowing discussions on common man issue of rise and GST on essential food items. Modi ji, why are you running away from and swearing for your failures? He said a
Failures.
failures.
नहीं, failure.
Failure.
हाँ.
He said a joint opposition held a dharma in Parliament complex ahead of the proceedings in the morning with the coming together of rivals like Congress.
Rivals.
Rivals.
Write the word rivals.
Rivals समझी क्या था?
दुश्मन.
Like Congress and TRS in indicating that prospectus of normal functioning of the monsoon seasons in the first week may be dim. Congress dubbed the GST as Garsti Sarvanas tax. The political temperature will anyway be high on Thursday when Congress chief Sonia Gandhi
जीएसटी को क्या बोल रहे हैं? गृहस्थी सर्वनाश टैक्स. गृहस्थी.
Sonia Gandhi visits the aid office for questioning in the national Harlot cases, as Congress has planned nationwide protection against mis-
Misuse.
misuse of agency by the Modi government. AICC managers, MPs, and senior Congress leaders meet at the residence of Kharge to discuss the plan. Congress spokesman Jairam Ramesh tweeted tomorrow as the political vendetta unleashed. Why the Modi Sahab do against our top leaders can continues, the entire Congress party across the country will demonstrate its collectively solidarity with Sonia Gandhi in a most leading manner, questioning Finance Minister's defense of GST on food items. Ramesh tweeted brand and level is very different from repackaged and labeled. The former affects only product a big company priced higher and bought by middle and upper middle classes. The latter affects a small business whose products are bought by the lower middle class and the poor. He accused the government of penciling the
पेनलाइजिंग
penalizing
मतलब वो पेनलाइज करना, पनिशमेंट, पेनलाइज.
the aspirations of the poor. Ramesh said that even the GST on ceramic drinks has been increased to 80%.
ठीक, थैंक यू. नेक्स्ट. जाओ, वो नींद आ गई. यूके इन्फ्लेशन, उसके बाद तुम पढ़ लोगे.
Good morning everyone, I am Sneha. Today's headlines are UK inflation rises to 9.4% on food prices. Highest in highest in 40 years, BOE sets to hike rate. Petrol and food prices last month pushed British inflation to its highest rate in 40 years. According to official figures that boosted the chances of a rare half percentage point Bank of England BOE interest rate hike next month. The for National Statistics ONS said annual consumer price inflation rose in June to 9.4%, the highest since Feb 1982, up from May's 9.1% and above the 9.3% conscious in a poll of economists. The latest increasements Britain had the highest rate of inflation seen in any group of seven advanced economies since 1985, although many smaller European Union countries are currently seeing even faster growth in prices. Wednesday's data blasted best that the BOE will opt for a 50 BPS rate high next month, which would be the biggest since 1995. The European Central Bank (ECB) is considering such a move this week, sources said on Tuesday. BOE Governor Andrew Bailey on Tuesday said that the scale of borrowing cost increase was on the table but not locked in. The BOE has raised rates 5 times since December as it tries to stop the surge in inflation from becoming embedded in Britain's economy, and it is expected to increase them again on August 4. Soaring inflation increased then again on August. Yes, sir. Soaring inflation means that momentum for a half-point interest rate rise in August in growing economic direction for accountancy trade borrowing, ICAEW said. However, tightening monetary policy too aggressively increases the risk of recession and will do little to address the global factors driving this inflationary surge. Investors now see an almost 100% chance to the BOE raising the bank rate to 1.75% from 1.25% next month. It said in June that it was ready to act forcefully if needed. The ONS said core inflation in June fell to 9.8% from 5.9% in May, in line with the poll median forecast, which could reassure BOE rate setters who might be reluctant to hike rates more aggressively. The ONS pointed to a 42% year-on-year rise in petrol prices and almost 10% increase in food prices as the main drivers of inflation last month. A hammer blow for families on low incomes. The Resolution Foundation think tank said inflation for this group had already passed in double digits. The cost of living crunch has triggered a wave of industrial action by trade unions and seen hotly debated among the three remaining candidates in the race to replace Boris Johnson as Prime Minister. Two are promising immediate tax cuts, something the other the other Finance Minister Rishi Sunak says risk of fueling and inflation. There was signs of further inflation pressure ahead in Wednesday's figures. Price paid by factories for materials and energy, a key determination of prices later set by consumers in shops, were 24% higher in June than a year earlier. The biggest increase since these records began in 1985. The ONS said prices charged by factories jumped 16.5%, the most since September 1977. In response to data, Finance Minister Nadeem Zawai and Britain was not alone in facing runaway inflation, and the government was joining forces with BOE to tackle problem. Thank you.
Race to become UK PM down to final two. Sunak and Course.
Good morning to all, and today article related about race to become UK PM down to final two, Sunak and Truss. London. Former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss made the final two candidates on Wednesday to become Britain's next Prime Minister, kick-starting the last stage of the contest to replace Boris Johnson. Sunak has led in all rounds of the voting among conservative lawmakers, but it Truss, who seems to have gained the advantages so far among the around 200 2 lakh members of the governing party who will ultimately choose the winner. The final stretch of the weeks-long contest will pit Sunak, a former Goldman Sachs banker who has raised the tax burden towards the highest level since the 1950s, against Truss, a convert to Brexit, who has pledged to cut taxes and regulations. However, triumphs when the result in announced on September 5 will inherit some of the most difficult conditions in Britain in decades. Inflation is on course to hit 11% annually. Growth in sterling in industrial action is on the rise, and the pound is near historic lows against the dollar. Britain under Johnson and aided by Truss took a hard line against Brussels in its post-Brexit negotiations around Northern Ireland, drawing legal action from the European Union and threatening future trade ties. 11 candidates originally put their names forward, but in fifth and final ballot, the junior trade minister Penny Mordaunt was eliminated. Sunak won 137 out of 357 votes versus Truss 133 and Mordaunt 105. Polls show Truss would be Sunak in the party members' contest, but all could change as the two finalists start weeks of hostings up and down the country before the party's memberships. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
भाई ऐसा नहीं ऐसा
Sir.
ठीक है कंफर्टेबल Comfortable?
Okay, sir.
Small names. Patna High Court seeks feasibility report on international airport in state. ठीक है? यहाँ से यहाँ तक पढ़ेंगे. Good morning everyone.
First,
Good morning everyone. हाँ ठीक है वो clear है. Relax,
First of all,
relax.
good morning everyone. My name is Reshan Chaudhary. Here I am reading the newspaper.
पटना हाई कोर्ट.
Patna High Court. तो यहाँ से
नहीं यहाँ से पहले हेडलाइन. पटना हाई कोर्ट
Patna High Court seeks
feasibility
feasibility report on
इंटरनेशनल.
international airport in state.
हाँ बिहार में पटना में इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट बन रहा है. तो हाई कोर्ट ने फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट मांगा है कि आप उसको कैसे बनाएंगे, इसका रिपोर्ट बताइए. ठीक है, दैट इज फिजिबिलिटी रिपोर्ट. ठीक है चलो.
The Patna High Court on
थोड़ा आवाज को तेज करो.
The Patna High Court on Wednesday asked the center and the state government to submit a feasibility report
फिजिबिलिटी
feasibility within a week regarding construction of an international airport in Bihar. A division bench of Chief Justice Sanjay
करोल.
Karol and Justice Kumar
हियरिंग
bench of PILS
फाइल्ड.
filed by Arvind
पीआईएल
Kumar.
फाइल होता है ना, केस जो होता है पीआईएल फाइल होता है.
Yes, sir. And other as Advocate General
ललित किशोर
Lalit Kishore to consider the proposal with an open mind and requested him to have an urgent talk with the Chief Minister on this issue, reports Dev Kumar Pandey. The court also requested the AG to
कन्वे
convey
एजी टू कन्वे. कन्वे मतलब बताना, पहुंचाना.
बताना
ठीक है. हाँ
the concert of the Patna High Court about providing 5 to 6 standard domestic and 1 in international all airports in the state. This matter will be next heard
हर्ड ऑन.
July 27 P2.
ठीक. चलो थैंक यू. हाथ उठा दे, रोज पकाने के लिए. पुणे ग्रैंड माँ, पुणे में एक दादी जी हैं. पेज इमोशनल विजिट टू पिंडी होम 75 years later. चलो यहाँ.
good morning everyone. My name is Nidhi Priya. Pune grandma pays emotional
आवाज
visit
को और
to
तेज करो, इसीलिए कहा ना. एक मिनट रिलैक्स. कान के ऊपर. चलो.
she had stepped out of her two-stories house in Prem
थोड़ा आवाज को
Gali.
और तेज करो.
In Prem Gali in
अच्छा ये अपने आप
Rawalpindi.
को एडजस्ट करो, थोड़ा बीच में जाओ. हाँ.
In May 1947, as a teenager, 75 years later, Reena Verma, overcome by tears of joy, crossed first at Vaga, and then the threshold of her childhood home in Pakistan to the celebratory beat of the dhol. The the Hussains who live there.
तुम बहुत धीरे पढ़ रही हो बाबू, बहुत धीरे. पहले रिलैक्स. ठीक है, थोड़ा आवाज़ को बढ़ाओ, है ना, क्योंकि सुना ही नहीं दे रहा किसी को. ठीक है, और यहाँ प्रेजेंटेशन हम लोग दे रहे हैं. ठीक, थोड़ा आवाज़ को और तेज करो. हाँ हाँ.
She had stepped out of her two-stories house in Prem Gali in Rawalpindi in May 1947 as a teenager. 75 years later, Reena Verma, overcome by tears of joy, crossed first the border at Vaga, and then the threshold of her childhood home in Pakistan to the celebratory beat of the dhol. The Hussains who live there now, and the neighbors on Butt Street in DAV College Road came together on Wednesday to receive their Pindi girl, now 90, who is on a solo trip to see the house she once lived in with her parents. Interestingly, the Hussains two are migrants who lived in Ludhiana in Punjab before partition, and Verma's joyous receptions was followed by swapping of pre-partitions stories. TOI first. Times of India first reported in May how Verma managed to find her house across the border. Before the pandemic, she had posted on social media on the Facebook group about her childhood memories of her house and her desire to see it. The story of this sprinkly grandma from Pune caught the attention of Sajad Haider, a resident from Rawalpindi, who tracked down her house and even sent picture and a video. Verma's daughter Sonali, who live in Gurgaon, helped her apply for a visa last year, but her applications was turned down. Not one to get disheartened. Verma made a video at the suggestions of a Pakistani journalist. It was this that come to the notice of Hina Rabani, the Ministry of State, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in Pakistan, who stepped in to enable her to get a 3-month visa so that she could see her home again. Thank you.
चलिए, thank you. Over to your next class.